She loved him not for what he showed the world, but for the raw and unfiltered soul he revealed only in moments of vulnerability. She loved the cracks in his voice when he spoke of his past, the fire in his eyes when he dreamed, and the silence that held more meaning than any words ever could. She didn't fall for his image, she fell for the boy behind the man, the soul behind the smile. He was imperfect, wounded, real, and that was more than enough for her. But slowly, his need to be right began to replace his need to be real. He started hiding behind pride, letting his ego speak louder than his heart. Where once there was softness, there was now distance. His soul, the very thing she loved, began to disappear behind layers of defense. She saw him drift further into performance, always trying to prove something, even to the one who never asked him to. And with every wall he built, she felt further from the man she had once held so close. She tried to hold on, believing love could soften him again. She reminded him of who he truly was in the quiet ways only a loving woman can. She stayed through the cold silences, the defensive words, the emotional distance. She didn't want perfection. She wanted truth. But each time she reached out, his ego recoiled. He saw questions as attacks, honesty as weakness, closeness as control. And she who once felt safe in his presence began to feel like a threat. He mistook her patience for passivity, her grace for acceptance. But love is not blind. It sees everything and stays, not because it doesn't hurt, but because it hopes. She hoped he would put down the mask, trust the love that saw through him, and meet her heart with his own. But instead, he held tighter to the illusion, afraid to look weak, afraid to be known too deeply, afraid that love could actually change him. There were moments he could have chosen humility over pride, but he never did. He thought being vulnerable meant losing control. He didn't realize that true strength is found in softness, that letting her in would have made him more, not less. She wanted a partner, not a performer. And the more he flexed his pride, the more invisible she felt. She was no longer speaking to his soul, she was speaking to a shield. And even the strongest love has a breaking point. She didn't leave out of bitterness. She left out of exhaustion. Her soul had grown tired of waiting for his to return. She was drowning in a relationship where only his voice echoed. She needed warmth, not walls. She needed a man who could meet her in the middle, not stand above her on a mountain of unspoken fears. So, with a heart heavy with love, she walked away from the one she once thought she'd never leave. He may have felt her absence long after she was gone, in the silence of nights where no one asks how he really feels. In the moments when pride doesn't hold him the way her love once did. Maybe he'll remember the way she looked at him like he was more than enough. Maybe he'll realize that what she needed wasn't a man who could impress the world, but one who could be real with her. But by then, it may be too late, because a woman who loves your soul will wait, but only until your ego makes her forget how beautiful that soul once was. She won't hate you. She'll simply remember that love isn't meant to feel like a battle, and that no one should have to fight through pride to be seen. She will find peace, and in that peace, she will find herself again, The most painful truth is that he didn't have to lose her. All he had to do was choose love over pride, truth over image, connection over control. But he couldn't. And she couldn't keep breaking her heart for a man who loved his ego more than he loved her presence. So she let go, not of him, but of the weight he refused to carry with her. Because when a woman loves your soul, she sees beyond your flaws. But if your ego keeps hiding that soul, she will eventually stop searching. And what she once gave so freely, she will never offer again. Not out of spite, but because her love deserves to be met, not managed. And in the end, she chose herself